But if there are any issues, if I don't make sense, uh, if you can't hear me because something's going on with my sound or whatever, or if you have any questions, feel free to come on. Even though I'm recording, I can just edit that part out. It's not a big deal. This is your class first. Okay. Um, Listen to your body, only do what's comfortable for you. Come into a resting pose if you need one, when you need one. Join us again whenever you're ready. Let's start lying down. All right, so today I decided for our theme that I would pick a card from the Thich Nhat Hanh mindfulness meditations, I think is what they're called. All right, so this card here is called Unity of Body and Mind. In our daily life, we lose ourselves all the time. The body is here, but the mind is somewhere else, in the past, in the future, carried away by anger, jealousy, fear, and so on. The mind is not really present with the body. We're not really here. To be truly here, we can bring the body back to the mind and the mind back to the body. We have to bring about what is called the unity of body and mind. Often the body and the mind go in different directions. So we are not fully here. We have to do what is necessary for them to come back together again. So being present in both body and mind today. So I invite you to take 3 rounds of breath, and on your exhales, maybe you let out anything that's there. Maybe it's a sigh. Perhaps you release your body. And then begin to deepen your breath. Take a few full breaths here to gather your attention. And then notice where you feel your breath in your body. Notice how your breath gently rises and falls. Your body, gently rises and falls in harmony with your breath. Where can you feel your body expand? And where can you feel your body soften? Allow your mind to gently rest on the gentle expansion and softening of your chest. Feel the pulse of your breath gently moving your chest. Noticing your arms. Noticing where you feel them on your mat. Noticing any sensations that you feel in your hands. Maybe tingling, warmth, coolness. Gently rest your attention on this sensation. And notice how your arms and hands feel from the inside out. Feeling your legs, noticing where they are, touching on the mat. Noticing if they feel heavy or light. Maybe there's tingling sensation. And become aware of your feet and explore what you feel. And gently rest your attention on this sensation. Notice how your legs and feet feel from the inside out. And when you notice thoughts arising in your mind, can you perhaps just notice them there and let them pass? Allow them to be like clouds in the sky. Sometimes there are many, sometimes there are few, sometimes stormy and sometimes calm. But always behind the clouds lies a calm, open sky. When thoughts arise, it could be helpful to lovingly label them for what they are: thinking, maybe distraction, memory, and bring your attention back to the present moment, to your breath and to your body. So making some small movements here in fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. All right, making any movements that feels right for you in your body. And then bringing the feet to the earth, knees are bent. And we'll bring the feet wide on the mat and allow the knees to windshield wiper from side to side. All right, so the next time your knees drop over towards the right side, activate your feet, allow the knees to come over only as far as they feel comfortable. Just take a few rounds of breath here. Allow that left hip to soften. Perhaps you feel a little something along the front of the left thigh. Maybe not. Just depends on what's going on in your body today. If your mind wanders, come back and notice the sensation of either your breath or notice what you feel in your body in the pose. Let's bring the knees back to center and then allow them to drop over towards the other side. You may even feel this in the hip a little bit. Let's bring the knees back to center. All right, and let's give both knees a hug here. And then perhaps making some circles in your knees. Maybe the circles go the same direction as each other, perhaps the opposite direction. All right, we're gonna come into reclined figure four. Oh my goodness. Feet to the earth, knees are bent. Eye of the needle, also known as a pigeon on the back, revolved reverse pigeon. It doesn't matter. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh, activating the right foot. Maybe you stay here, or perhaps you push your right thigh away. Maybe you draw your legs in closer toward you, keeping that right foot active, grabbing a hold of the left leg somewhere, softening the shoulder. And maybe you find some movement here. Maybe rock from side to side or make circles in that left knee, keeping the right foot active. Reclined pigeon? I don't know. All right, let's drop that left foot to the earth. And then we're gonna come into happy baby. Don't worry, we'll do both sides. But first, let's come into happy baby. Bringing both feet up towards the sky, grabbing a hold of either the backs of the thighs, lower leg, maybe the feet somewhere. Knees come out towards the side, so outside of the body. Softening the shoulders. And again, maybe you make some movements here. All right, let's drop both feet down towards the earth, knees are bent. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh, activating the left foot. Again, find whatever variation feels best for you here, keeping that left foot active. Softening the shoulders. And maybe you find some movement here, or maybe it feels better to stay still. Right, releasing the right foot down to the earth, uncrossing the legs. And we're gonna come back into our happy baby. Okay, let's bring both feet down towards the earth. Knees are bent. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to find just some moving bridges here to warm up the spine. So whenever you're ready, push your feet into the earth, lift your hips, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes, and then gently lowering down towards the earth. Just moving here at your own pace. Take your time. Let's go one more time. All right, once your back comes all the way down to the earth, maybe take a few rounds of breath here to soften the low back. No sudden movement. Okay, and then we're going to find that eye of the needle one more time. A little variation this time. So right ankle crosses over the left thigh, activating the right foot. Okay, so perhaps you find your variation of eye of the needle. Maybe draw the legs in. Or if it's in your body, keep the right foot active. Left hand reaches for the right foot. Right arm comes around that right knee. Perhaps you're able to draw that leg in a little bit closer. So we're kind of coming into a reclined cradle pose here. And if you wish to make it a little bit more stretchy, extending the left leg long. Let's find one more round of breath here. And then gently releasing that right foot down to the earth. Right knee is bent. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh, activating the right foot. Again, maybe it's your variation of eye of the needle, or perhaps you cradle the leg. The left foot stays active, grabbing a hold of the left foot with the right hand. Right arm comes, or even just the hand comes around the leg. Gently bring the leg in closer towards your chest. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you extend the right leg long. So notice what's going on with your breath, with your mind, with your body. Can you bring them all together, focusing on one area? All right, one more round of breath. And then releasing the left foot to the earth. In your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently make your way up to seated and right into a tabletop pose. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, gripping your fingers into the earth. So finding any movements here that feels good for you in your body. Could be C shapes, figure eight, cat cow, in and out of child's pose. All right, gently making your way back into your tabletop. Curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you, downward dog. So keeping as much of a bend in your knees as you need to begin. First downward dog. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. So the aim here is not necessarily to get the heels to the earth, but maybe see if how it feels to send your chest towards your thighs. I'm not going to make it there, but imagine that's the direction you're going in. Perhaps you pedal out your feet. Okay, so from here, let's bring the right foot up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Shifting your weight forward, stepping the right foot through, or help it through however you need to. Let's drop the left knee to the earth. Squeeze the inner thighs as you rise. Right knee's over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. Perhaps you find a slight tuck of the tailbone and open the heart up towards the sky. Inhale, arms come back to center. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Let's step the left foot forward to meet the right into a forward fold. As much of a bend as you need in your knees, allowing the upper body to dangle. On your next inhale, let's come into halfway lift. Hands come to shins or thighs, flat back. Find equal weight in the four corners of your feet. And exhale back, forward fold. All right, let's take a big step back with both feet into your plank pose. Your variation of plank. And then come back into downward dog. So this time, the left foot reaches up towards the sky, shifting your weight forward, stepping the left foot through. Right knee comes to the earth. Squeeze the inner thighs to rise. Softening the shoulders. Perhaps finding that slight tuck of the tailbone, your tailbone, and opening your heart up towards the sky. Gently bringing your hands down to frame your front foot. Right foot comes forward to meet the left, downward dog. Downward dog, forward fold. I'm so sorry. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. That I just mentioned the mind and the body not being in the same place at the same time. There's a good example. All right, ready? We're going to take a big step back here with the right foot. Okay, so either high lunge or warrior one. So warrior one, the right foot's going to point towards the top right corner of the mat. Squeeze the inner thighs to rise, soften the shoulders. All right, let's find a twist, bringing the arms out towards the sides, turning towards the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, you're gonna see my back, sorry. Spinning the right foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. Front heel intersects with the middle of the back foot, bending into the front knee, squaring the hips towards the long edge of the mat. Warrior two, looking over the front hand. All right, side angle, one of our cards. So let's bring the left forearm to the thigh, right arm reaches up, maybe over towards the front of the mat. Try not to collapse in on the left arm. And then if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, perhaps you reach both arms towards the front of the mat. Draw the navel in, keep rotating your rib cage towards the long edge of the mat. On your next inhale, windmill the arms back out, look over the front arm, warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands to frame the front foot. Step back into your plank and into downward facing dog. Okay, right foot reaches up towards the sky. This is where we're gonna do our little flippy flip, okay? So we're going to shift the weight into the left hand, slowly spinning on the left foot, allowing the right foot to come down behind you. We want to turn our toes towards the short edge of the mat and then push the hips up towards the sky, allowing the arm to reach up and maybe back. One more round of breath. And then making your way back into downward dog. Okay, we'll find our flippy flip on the other side. Left foot reaches up towards the sky. I'm gonna run into a wall. Spinning on your right foot, shifting the weight into your right hand. Allow that left foot to step behind you. You're gonna turn both toes towards the front edge of the mat or the short edge of the mat. Left arm maybe reaches up or back. Send the hips up. And slowly making your way back into downward dog. Right foot reaches up towards the sky. Shift your weight forward, send your right foot through. So either high lunge or warrior one. Your warrior one, toes are pointing up towards the top left corner of your mat, left foot, sorry. Let's find that twist, arms come out to the sides, turning towards the right side. Reach the arms long. Where is your mind? Is it focused on your body? Woo! Coming back into your high lunge or warrior one, and then spinning the back foot will come into warrior two. Front knee is over the ankle. You want to be able to maybe see that big toe. And side angle, right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and over, softening the left shoulder. Perhaps you reach that right arm forward towards the front of your mat. Windmilling the arms back, warrior two. Hands windmill towards the front of your mat. We're going to take a big step back here into our plank pose, but this time shift your weight forward, lower your knees, tuck your elbows, lower all the way down to the earth. All right, let's find a baby cobra here, hands under the shoulders. Shoulders roll back and down, tuck the elbows. And we're gonna stretch the legs out long behind us, placing the tops of our feet down onto the earth. And then gently lift the chest off the earth, looking down at the earth. All right, so if you wanna make this a little more challenging, perhaps the hands come up off the earth. Maybe you continue to look down, but reach the arms out in front. So arms come by your ears. Woo. Continue pushing the tops of the feet down, lift the chest. And then gently lower all the way to the earth. Let's all come into tabletop pose. Find some cat-cow here, round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, and then moving in the opposite direction, tailbone points up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down the spine. And just moving here at your own pace with your own breath. All right, let's come back to a tabletop pose. Curling the toes under, sending the hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Okay, ready? Left foot reaches up towards the sky. From here, somehow we're gonna come into standing figure four. Shift your weight forward, step your left foot forward. And then see if you can make your way up to standing just on the left foot. So shift your weight forward. Maybe you tuck the right knee in towards your chest and then come on up. All right, so right foot is out in front, find your balance. You have an option. It can be standing figure four, or if it's too much for your body, it can be a tree pose instead. So your tree, we just wanna make sure the foot is not on the knee. Our standing figure four, we're gonna activate the right foot, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. We're gonna imagine we're sitting down into a chair, send the arms up towards the sky. Or maybe you find your tree. All right, our standing figure four, we can stay up high, or we can slowly sit down a little bit further and then bring the hands down towards the earth. Perhaps you're able to come into a toe stand by shifting your weight into that front toe, lowering the hips down even further. All right, so let's push that left foot into the earth, flatten your back, come on up with a flat back, and then release here. Shake out the legs. And we'll find the other side. Nothing fancy between here. All right, so shifting your weight into your right foot, left foot comes up off the earth. Crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, activate that foot, or find your tree. Find your chair variation here. So hips come back, sit down into your chair, arms reach up towards the sky. Perhaps this is where you want to stay. Or maybe you want to slowly sit down a little bit more, bring the hands down towards the earth. Again, option here to come into that toe stand. I'm gonna skip it. Where's your mind? Bring your mind back to focusing either on your body or your breath. Pushing that right foot into the earth, lengthen the spine and coming up with a flat back. And then release. Give your legs a good shake. All right, we're almost there. Two more. Let's find a little bit of flow before we come into dancer. So finding your mountain pose, feet are hip distance apart, squeeze the inner thighs, shoulders roll back and down the spine. On your inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, flat back, swan diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. On your inhale, arms come out towards the sides, reverse swan dive up with a flat back into extended mountain. And exhale, hands come to heart center. So we're gonna find that a couple more times. Inhale, extended mountain. This time, if you wish, find a slight tuck of the tailbone, find a back bend. And exhale, flat back, swan diving down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, four corners of your feet. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms out towards the side, reverse swan dive up with a flat back. Maybe you find that back bend, tuck the tailbone, and exhale, hands to heart center. All right, so we're gonna do that one more time. Pay attention to the body. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Notice what you feel in your body. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw the navel in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Perhaps tuck the tailbone, find that back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a moment to close your eyes. Notice the connection of your fingertips. Maybe parts of your palm connecting, palms. Softening the shoulder. Be present. Releasing the hands by your sides. Slowly shifting your weight over towards your right foot. Micro bend in the right knee. Bending the left knee, send the foot behind you. Activate the foot. If you can, reach that hand towards the inside of the left foot. If not, the outside's okay too. Keep that foot active. Send the knee down towards the earth. Squeeze the inner thigh. Stand up nice and tall. Perhaps the right hand reaches up towards the sky. All right, stay focused on your breath. Perhaps you push your left foot into your left hand. Allow the leg to rise. And maybe you start to tip forward. Reach that right arm forward. Inhale, gently coming back to center. Exhale, release, come back to mountain. Let's bring the hands to heart center one more time. Softening the shoulders, maybe closing your eyes. Connecting the mind and body together. Notice any sensations you feel, and maybe your fingertips here. Gently releasing your arms by your sides. Open your eyes if they're closed. Shifting your weight into your left foot. Micro bend in the left knee. Bending the right knee, send the foot back behind you. Grab a hold of that foot. Active right foot. Right knee points down towards the earth. Squeeze the inner thighs towards center. This could be enough. Pushing that right foot into the right hand. Foot maybe starts to lift. Left arm comes forward. And then maybe you start to tip. Keep sending the knee so that it's pointing down towards the earth. Where is your focus? Union between the body and the mind. Slowly come back up to center, release. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms. Last time, let's find our mountain. And then hands to heart center. Maybe you close your eyes. Perhaps this time you notice the touch points of your feet on the earth. Feel the earth beneath you, being present in this moment. What does it feel like to be connected to the earth? Even if you're on your mat and like me on the second floor of a house, imagine the earth is still beneath us. All of us connected to the earth together. Releasing your hands by your sides. On your inhale, reach up towards the sky, maybe tuck the tailbone, open the heart. And on the exhale, flat back swan, diving down, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift, draw the navel in. Crown of the head reaches forward. And on your exhale, forward fold. Let's take a couple rounds of breath here. And then stepping both feet back behind you to come into tabletop pose. And then making your way into seated. One more pose. So if you have blocks, or even one block or something similar to a block, feel free to grab it. So our last card here is revolved nose to knee. So in a revolved nose to knee, we'll bring the right leg out wide and tuck the left foot in. Find your sits bones, a comfortable place to sit. We're going to place the block inside the right leg. So where it goes will just depend on your body. We're going to activate the right foot, placing the right forearm on top of the block, or perhaps your leg, if that's where you wish to be today, or even on the earth. We're going to roll the left shoulder back and down, maybe even looking almost up towards the sky, or look over that left shoulder. And then reach the left arm up and over, softening the shoulder back and down the spine. Fingers are reaching towards that right foot. Maybe you adjust your block further away, closer to you, or maybe your right forearm comes towards the earth. So what we want to do is we want to try not to allow the rib cage or the heart to roll towards the earth. We want to try and keep it open towards the side, or even eventually start turning its way up towards the sky. Okay, inhale, bringing the left arm back up, come up to seated. All right, left hand comes to the earth, right arm reaches up and over. Maybe you stay here, find your block. Maybe you come up onto the left knee, reach the left arm up or back behind you. And gently lowering here. All right, let's find the other side. Left leg out to the side, right foot tucks in. Placing the block inside the left leg. Activating that left foot. Left forearm comes to the block, the leg, or the earth. Roll that right shoulder back and down the spine. You almost want to look over that shoulder if you can. And then reaching the right arm up and over towards the left toes. Softening the shoulder. Maybe you move the block, move your arm. Find length from the right hip all the way up to that shoulder. So reaching from the waist rather than from the arms. One more round of breath. And then gently coming up to center. Right hand comes to the earth, left arm reaches up and over. Maybe you stay here or shift up onto that right knee. Maybe you reach up or back. Gently lowering back down. Make your way onto your back. All right, so feet come to the earth. Feet are about hip distance apart, knees are bent. So our last one here is a figure four twist. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh. Activating the right foot. Know if this is not comfortable for you, you can come into a different variation of a twist. We're going to keep our shoulders flat on the earth, palms face up towards the sky, and then allowing the legs to drop over towards the left side. Maybe that right foot comes down to the earth. Maybe you need to walk your feet a little bit so that there's a little space for the foot to come to the earth. Perhaps left hand reaches for that right foot to draw it in closer towards the chest. If it's in your body, maybe you walk that left foot a little bit closer to your sits bones and grab a hold of that foot. Maybe not. And perhaps you look towards the right side. Notice your breath. Noticing the expansion and softening of your breath. Soften the hips, softening the jaw. Gently releasing your feet if you have them, if you have a hold of them. I said that last week too. We all have feet. Okay, let's bring the legs back to center. Repositioning the back flat on the earth. Both feet come flat to the earth. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh, activating the left foot. Allowing the legs to drop over towards the right side. Maybe you need to shimmy that right foot a little bit so that you can create space for that left foot to come down. If you're going to grab a hold of your feet to pull them a little closer to you, just be sure to activate your feet. Perhaps you look to the left. Softening the hips. Softening the shoulders. Finding one more round of breath. And then releasing here. Allowing your legs to come back to center, uncrossing your legs. repositioning your back flat on the earth, and then coming into Shavasana or any final resting pose that feels good for you here. Unity of the body and mind. In our daily life, we lose ourselves all the time. The body is here, but the mind is somewhere else, in the past, in the future, carried away by anger, jealousy, fear, and so on. The mind is not really present with the body. We are not really here. To be truly here, we can bring the body back to the mind and the mind back to the body. We have to bring about what is called the unity of body and mind. Often the body and the mind go in different directions, so we are not fully here. We have to do what is necessary for them to come back together again. So I went a little long, but I invite you to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you feel comfortable, maybe another 5 minutes if you can. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful evening.